All right, today we have a 2000 Toyota Avalon. This car stalls. This customer drives the car, and as he makes a turn, the car just shuts off. And he said he was driving several times. The check engine light came on, but then the battery died, so all the codes erased. But in the memory code, it gives a code for crank sensor. So the crank sensor is down there, and this can make your car stall. The crank sensor is located all the way down there. So we're gonna lift this car up. We're gonna disconnect the connector and remove that crank sensor and replace that crank sensor. Start off with removing this tire. This is the passenger side front tire. Once you have the lug nuts out, remove this tire. The tire off. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the number 10 here and number 10 here. We're gonna take this cover out. Alright, so those two number 10s come off and this cover comes off, and then you have a good view in the crank area by the pneumatic balancer shaft. Once we have those two out, this cover should come out just like that. Now we're gonna go look inside. If you look all the way inside there, I'm gonna have to put my light here somewhere. You see number 10 there? The crank sensor is right there, and the connector. So we're gonna remove that number 10 and the connector. To get the connector out, this is the connector. All you do is you squeeze it and you lift it off. And next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the number 10 back there. I'm not gonna be able to get that on the light on the camera, but let's see. Once it's out, we'll show you. We have this number 10 out, and next what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to lift that out. That's the sensor back there. Very tight spot. Usually what you can do is remove the belts on this, but we're not gonna do all that. Sensor we're gonna put in, and this is where the connector goes in, and I'm gonna pull that one out so we can see. Hold on to this.
Pull it out?
I'll pull it out. All right, he's gonna pull it out. Go ahead. It's hard to see in there, so he'll just pull it out, and let's see if it matches. If it looks the same, this should just lift right out of there, just like that. You should be able to lift it right out. There you go. He got it out. So this is the new old sensor. This is what was in there. All right, so we're gonna put the new sensor in now. What we're gonna do is you're gonna take a little bit of oil. We're gonna put oil around here, and usually there's a seal there. That seal's not there. Doesn't have a seal. So that's where the crank sensor came out from, all the way down there. Yeah, it's recording. Just because I didn't drive it. Let me just get it.
So
It's gonna block anyway. Let me just grab it for blow. So the new sensor goes in. There's a new sensor in there. If you can see somehow, some way. You can't. And now we're gonna put the bolt in. The bolt goes in next, and then we'll put the connector in. Make sure the connector clicks. All little particles of metal. This can cause interruption with the signal. So instead of cleaning it, putting it back in, we'd rather just change the sensor, put the new sensor in. And he's still working on it in there. So there we have the new crank sensor. We got the number 10 bolt on it, and we have the connector on, and it clicked on. So we're done there. And we're gonna put the cover back on. And then you put the tire on, and the job is done. This sensor is very important. This sensor gives a signal to the PCM. If it loses a signal, car is gonna shut down. So it's very important to change this sensor. So the cover should be closed up, and the bolt should be nice and tight. Then if you have a check engine light on, you can reset it, and you can test drive the car, let the car run for a little bit, let it idle. And that's it. That's how you change a crank sensor on a 2000 Avalon. If you have a car stalling and you have a check engine light on for that code, for that crank sensor, that's what you're gonna do.